Welcome to the Erasmus Foundation podcast. My name is Paul Nugent. Are you looking for answers to life and its meaning? Then this may well be the very podcast you need to listen to. In a series of podcasts, we are going to look at the difficult questions of life and apply spiritual knowledge to find out the answers. Hello. Today, we are going to talk about strength and courage. This is not going to be a talk about physical strength and physical courage. It's going to be about spiritual strength and spiritual courage. And with me to talk about this is Padina from Spirit. So greetings, Padina.
Greetings.
And of course, the first question I'm going to ask you is, what is strength?
Strength, spiritual strength, comes from your very core, the very center of your being. And it is, one could say, measured by how much you have evolved in spirit, developed, very often through spending time having lives on the earth and elsewhere. And it is through the endurance and testing that you face in these lives, that through these experiences, you gain strength. It takes time, and as you evolve, as you grow older in spirit, perhaps over millions and millions of years, you gain this strength, and that is a measure of you. It is yours by right. Now, I think at this point, it would be good just to emphasize that power is not the same as strength. Power may be gained in ways which follow the path of darkness and evil. Power might be given to you, but it might also be taken away. It is only given to you. It is not yours by right. Only your strength is. So power, really, in that sense, is not good.
Indeed, Padina, thank you. And of course, the other word we are talking about today is courage. So would you like to say something about spiritual courage, please?
Yes. Now, spiritual courage, particularly when a person, a spirit, is living a life within the earth, it is very often then that courage is needed. Courage is called upon by the individual for whatever reason, and for whatever reason that causes this to surface, that individual is relying on their own personal strength to find the courage to perform whatever is necessary in their life. So courage is more, I would say, something of the earth. Courage is perhaps used in spirit, but it is more the declaration of strength. It is the evidence of a person's strength, which is revealed by their courage. And in spirit, it is more, perhaps, is something a little extra, something a little different, as it is indeed of the earth, where it is more seen and expressed in the face of some challenge in life or some difficulties a person may face.
It's really interesting. So these two qualities that you've picked upon today, so why are they important in the world today?
Well, because truth is so important in the world. It is important, of course, in spirit. It is essential, as it should be essential within the earth. But so often, in any circumstance, one must give truth at all times, regardless of the consequence, regardless of what it might do in hurting other people, whatever. One may choose how to deliver something you must then say or talk about. That requires skill and graciousness and understanding and concern for others to be able to do that wisely and in the best way. But ultimately, it must be the truth. And so often within your world, people do not find the courage and the strength to give truth. So they give falsehood, which is the opposite, which is a declaration of their weakness in not being able to find the strength and the courage to give truth. So that is very important.
Indeed. So where do we find this strength and courage within us? How do we obtain it?
Well, you have a certain degree, a certain level of strength within you. And as I said before, that is yours by right. That is what you have created and developed. You have earned that strength in all that you have experienced. So that is within your very core. And really, sometimes within the earth, particularly, if there is a challenge you must meet, and you then decide courageously to find the courage to face whatever is necessary, then in doing that, you are gaining a little strength. You are being stronger. You are being strong. And that is sometimes a gift that you earn yourself and helps develop you and evolve you as a spirit. So the great mind, in his wisdom, has created this life that you live, this tapestry of life, so that within the life you will come across a situation, maybe more than one, maybe several, where the situation calls upon you to look within yourself and find the strength and the courage to face what is offered. And the great mind gives you these tests to enable you and help you develop.
Okay, so it's a bit like a well of strength that you can draw upon. Is that how you would see it?
Yes, it is as a source which you draw upon, of course. At the same time, the more peaceful you are as a person, the more you know yourself, and as a result, become a more well-balanced person, then you have the means to call upon all of your strength that is within you.
I see. Now, when we talk about truth, this is something that's lacking in the world today. And some people find it easy to tell the truth, whereas others find it more difficult. So does it take a special courage to tell the truth at all times?
I think, yes, it does take courage. That is true. But more importantly, if you know how to give a response to a question, or to have to say to somebody something which you know may be painful for you or for them or others concerned, but you have to give the truth. If you know how to deliver this in a gracious manner, not wanting to hurt anybody, but you still must give the truth, then that makes the situation a great deal easier. One thing you must know, that in life you may face rejection, you may make enemies, you will hurt people, but above all, you must give truth. Otherwise, you have nothing, and that is important. But one thing you can say and believe, that you may offend somebody in giving them truth in the best way you can. And they may be upset with you. They may turn away. They may call you all sorts of names and want to respond angrily, aggressively. But you have done what is right in giving the truth. And one day they might come back to you and respect you for having given the truth. Now, if you gave falsehood, if you were that weak and you did this, truth being the daughter of time, in time that person would come to the realization and find out that you had not given them truth when they asked for it. And then you have lost their trust. They would no longer trust you. They would have a bad opinion of you, quite rightly. They would see you as weak, quite rightly. And that would be more offensive, I believe, if that were so. I think that is really not a very good situation at all.
No, I agree. So, Bettina, we've talked about strength and courage, and above all, the truth. And a fourth concept that's been mentioned recently is acceptance. So we know where to find strength and courage, and also how to deliver truth. So where do we find acceptance?
I think acceptance, well, first I must say that true acceptance at home in spirit has perhaps more meaning than it does within the earth. But it is something that you gain only after a very, very, very long time. Through experience, through knowledge and wisdom, and in time you may gain acceptance. Now, having said that, within the earth particularly, people must try to find a certain level of acceptance in the knowledge that their life has a tapestry, a structure, a format which defines how their life is to be. Of course, there are choices within the life and everyday choices for people, but the overall plan, the overall format of that life has been tapestried, has been written. Now, if people generally within the earth had that knowledge and perhaps a degree of acceptance, then it would help them to face some of the difficulties and challenges of their life. So it is something to be considered and of value and to take on board if at all possible.
Thank you, Bedina. Now, you've given me a quote from the Great Mind, and it is, "Hold my hand and I will lead you." Would you like to speak on this?
Yes. And I think that is the key to acceptance. Accepting that there is a great mind, an almighty, a great force, which has created and put order in all things. And if you offer your hand and put it in the hand of the great mind, symbolically, metaphorically, you are offering your acceptance to what is. And that will give you great strength. And some might need the courage to do that. But know, if you have that acceptance and you accept that hand that is offered to you, then there is nothing safer or more secure than what you discover within the gift the Great Mind offers you from his hand.
The Erasmus Foundation is a spiritual teaching and healing foundation based in Laxfield, Suffolk, in the United Kingdom. We have a webpage, www.erasmus-foundation.org. If you would like to be a guest on our podcast, or indeed have further questions for us, then please contact me on paul@erasmus-foundation.org, and we'll do our best to accommodate you. Thank you very much for listening.